One of the first questions people ask me when they know I speak Chinese is, do you speak Mandarin or Cantonese? What exactly is Cantonese? Well, in its broad sense, Cantonese, known as Guangdonghua or Yutyu in Cantonese, is mainly spoken in the province of Guangdong and its neighboring province of Guangxi, as well as the special administrative regions of Hong Kong and Macau. According to the latest figures from Ethnologue, there are close to 63 million Cantonese speakers across the globe. There are some 59 million speakers in China alone and quite a sizable population of at least 389,000 speakers in Canada, where cities like Vancouver, Toronto, and Montreal have large Cantonese populations. Before I forget, I must mention that Cantonese is one of the many fangyan of Chinese. What you say? I don't really know. In fact, this Chinese term doesn't translate well into English. Is a fangyan a dialect, or is it a language of its own right? From a purely linguistic standpoint, Cantonese would be considered as a different language from other varieties of Chinese, such as Mandarin and Southern Min, since all these varieties are mutually unintelligible. Looking at this problem from a sociolinguistic perspective, this question may not be as simple. People often consider the standard variant of the language, or in this case, the standard language among many languages, to be the language, and non-standard variants to be dialects. As a Canadian-born Chinese, or CBC for short, I wanted to know how CBCs look at Cantonese. Is it a language or a dialect to them? Is it a useful language to them? Do they enjoy speaking Cantonese? I also wanted to know how their attitudes towards Cantonese affect how they speak Cantonese. To answer all my questions, I decided to focus on this guiding question. How do the attitudes of Canadian-born Cantonese speakers towards Cantonese relate to Cantonese oral proficiency? I hypothesized that positive attitudes towards Cantonese would result in higher oral proficiency, as people tend to be better at things they're interested in and enthusiastic. This is how I approached this question. In my study, I had 3 CBC participants. To find out about their attitudes towards Cantonese, I gave the participants a questionnaire with questions on background information and their opinions on Cantonese. Since most CBCs are illiterate in Chinese, and they probably don't know any romanization schemes or IPA, I decided to use a picture description task to assess their oral proficiency. In this task, the 3 participants were shown this picture and were asked to describe it verbally as I recorded their descriptions. Their recordings were then given to 2 native Cantonese speakers to judge by 5 criteria: fluency, lexical choice, syntax, accentedness, and comprehensibility. Looking at the data, there are mixed results. An interesting finding is that all the participants thought that it is better to describe Cantonese as neither a language nor a dialect, but something in between. However, the participant with the lowest proficiency thought Cantonese is closer to a dialect, while the other 2 believed Cantonese is closer to a language. This may show that a higher view of Cantonese would result in higher proficiency. Another interesting finding was that the participant with the lowest proficiency strongly agreed that Cantonese is useful in daily life, but the one with highest proficiency only mildly agreed. This could mean that sometimes positive attitude towards Cantonese may not result in high proficiency due to other factors. For further investigation, more participants with a wider range of proficiency levels are needed in order to make more accurate conclusions. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation.
Created using Powtoon.